All right, guys. So all of this has been we've covered some really good tips for you. But one thing we do have to be aware of, as good as it goes, sometimes breakups happen. Obviously a lot of times it happens. You're going to find that one person along the way. There's going to be breakups. So in your own mind as women, what starts ticking where you're like, this is probably going to end? What are the signs that you go through emotionally? Like, you don't break up with them right away, but you start to think, you know what, we're headed down that road.
I feel like if we start arguing about the same things over and over again, then it's like a red flag. And it's like, even if I don't want to argue about it, but they keep bringing it up, I'm like, okay, this is a deal breaker for them, and there's no compromise here. It's something maybe I can't change, she can't change, and then I'm like, this is it. Like, I can't deal with it anymore. It's almost like they're pushing me away unintentionally. And then I know, like, one of us has to make that move.
I think when you're like unhappy more of the time than you are happy, it starts to like eat away at you, and then someone has to make the move. I think it always drags on for way longer than it should. I mean, like, life's too short to be unhappy. So even if you did it for like the greater good of both of you, like, someone has to make the move to end it.
So your feelings are letting you know. That's interesting. Like, you're feeling it, because like relationships, it is. We're after a feeling here, and you feel something's different.
Yeah, because if you're going from like, oh my God, we had like the best night and it was so fun and like I'm so in love with him, until like the only thing you're thinking about is, great, what is he going to bother me about now? Like, I'm not happy. I'm not excited anymore to hang out with him. His text message actually starts to annoy you.
Beep, beep, beep.
I know. And it's just like, if you're looking at your phone and you're like, oh, it's my boyfriend. That's like, that's bad. So if a guy,
but again, I think
like,
it already like should have ended before you even get to that point, because everyone just holds on and you hold on until you.
No one wants to hurt the other person's feelings, so it's really hard.
Well, let's talk about this, because I feel like guys, and if you're a guy listening, sometimes they had no idea something was wrong. I feel women are a little more in tune to their emotions, what's going on. It's like the guy sometimes is almost the last person to know something's wrong here, and it's like, sometimes have you ever caught a guy off guard, like, what are you talking about?
That's like a big communication problem then, because there should definitely be a warning. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, you did this, so I'm done, I can't be in this relationship. Like, it should be a warning, like, when you do this, it bothers me, and then he does it several more times, or even a few more times, and then it's like, okay, I'm done, I'm out of this. Like, there has to be a communication. You can't just, you can, but it's unfair to just say, you pissed me off, so I'm done.
Well, what if a guy wants you to change? What's the way to do it? Ultimatums? That probably wouldn't work, right? No. What's the nice way to get you?
To present it almost as a compromise. Like, why are we the only one that has to change? Like, can you meet me halfway? So this stuff bothers you. This is what I can offer to change, but what can you change? Because I've been in situations where it kind of pisses me off. Like, why am I the one that has to change?
Yeah, I'm not a bad person. A little bit,
like, halfway. This bothers you, I won't do this, but can you try to view it differently? Can you feel, do you think you can, just find it like in your heart to maybe like not get so mad about every little thing?
Right. So we tell guys, all right, you got to kind of look out for these signs a little bit. Don't be clueless and caught off guard. But if he starts to witness these kind of things, maybe more the arguments like you're talking about, or his girl just doesn't seem as into it, how can he pull himself back from the brink? What can a guy do to really, you thought maybe this will end, but what does he have to do? Does he have to work twice as hard? What needs to happen?
He has to reevaluate the whole situation. He almost has to do like a pro-cons list and say, okay, what are the reasons why I do want to make this work? What are the reasons why it's not working? And sort of weigh it out, because maybe he has to be the one to say, you know what, I can't compromise anymore. I can't make this change. I can't expect this from you. Maybe we need to go our separate ways. Or if there's a lot of pros, he needs to say, look, we really need to reconnect. We need to find out what's the problem here.
You have to make sure it's not just like an ego thing. Like, do you want to make it work just so it doesn't hurt your ego that like, okay, I did everything and now it's not working and I'm going to lose my girl? Or do you really want to be with her? Because if I know I don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with me. So if I feel like they're on their way out, are there things that you can do to try to get them back? I'm sure. but I'm always going to be thinking that they really don't want to be with me, and how long can I pretend?
Right.
All right, so if you're a guy now, you're dating women, you're having girlfriends, I think you'd be surprised, like as a guy, like if a girl wasn't right for me, I feel bad breaking up with her. I think it's hard for a guy. So what would you tell a guy that, this isn't the girl for him, but he has to end it? How should he end it? Face to face, text? How should he do
No
it?
text.
How should he do it?
Text, face to face, and just be honest. I mean, you can't go wrong if you're speaking from your heart. Even if she did something that pissed you off, just think about what you want to say. Even if you have to write down, I've just written down some thoughts about things that reasons why I felt like it wasn't going to work, and I think you can present it I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste my time, but I'm just not happy.
Yeah, I have a friend like that he took it, I think way too far, but he's just a good person. Even when we'd be out and about getting numbers, he'd go on a date and maybe you want to see the person again. He would actually call up the girl and be like, listen, had fun, I don't think this is going anywhere, and just being totally honest. 99% of guys do not do that. You could laugh a little bit that he did it, but he just feels that in his heart that he just wants to be honest like that.
Yeah, I would appreciate that kind of honesty. It could be a little bit brutal if it's just you went out once and he's like, look, I don't feel this. It's kind of ooh. But at the same time, you didn't waste my time, so I can appreciate that.
I really, I appreciate that
waste
too.
my time.
Because I don't want you pretending and I don't want you giving me that one more benefit of the doubt date. If the chemistry is not there, it's not there.
Right. Yeah, you don't, then a girl isn't sitting waiting thinking, I know we try to all be tough, I don't care. I think, all this stuff hurts us in one way or the other, even if...
It's going to hurt no matter what, even
right.
if there was a formula for a breakup. It would still end in hurt, but it's not even one-sided. I think both people are hurt. No one likes to fail at anything. So even if you're the one breaking up, it's it's going to hurt both parties, and it's just something you have to grow and learn from and move on.
All right, so guys, breakups happen, and a question I get a lot is getting back together with the ex. Now, I don't know if you have any experience with this, what your thoughts are. Is it if it's over, should it just be over and move on?
I don't agree with breaking up and then getting back.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I've tried it, and it never works.
It never works out because, again, I'm sure sometimes it works out. I'm not a fan, and I don't think people should do it. I think you get back together, you have, again, your little new honeymoon phase with someone that you already, know, so it's even 10 times better, more comfortable. And then all of a sudden, the same
problems.
issues that you've had come creeping back. Another situation that I've been in was we had broken up. We were broken up for 6 months. And then, obviously, you're broken up for 6 months. You're both going to live your life a little bit as single people.
Yeah.
Then when we got back, there was a whole new set of problems about what did you do,
what were you doing in the 6 months, right?
6 months, who's this person texting you? I think once it's over, it's over.
I know. There's always exceptions to the rule, but I think for the most part, an ex is an ex for a reason.
Yeah, you really have to both be committed to compromising and changing for it to work. I don't think that ever happens. I think one person wants to be with that other person more than the other person does. So they're yes, I'm going to change this, I'm going to do this. I won't get mad at that for anymore, I won't, but
right.
it's just, it all evens out eventually.
Now, should a guy, maybe they're not as introspective as women, when these relationships end, should a guy really think about maybe some of the stuff he did wrong, not blaming it all on him, because you don't want to take those mistakes into the next relationship. Like you said, it's yeah, you'll find another girlfriend maybe, but if you're making these same mistakes, how can he, is it just about sitting down and thinking about it, asking the girl, what should he do?
I don't think that you should ask the girl, but what's cool about relationships and dating is that you do learn from your mistakes. And I think when it ends, you can kind of figure out, sometimes it ends and you really didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't there.
Right.
Sometimes someone else has a different agenda, or maybe they were hiding stuff from you. I've been in situations where someone was dating me, but then they were also dating someone else that I didn't know about, and then that was a little more serious, whatever the case may be. But if you've done something wrong, I think you can usually figure out what you did and just, fix it for the next time. It's a learning experience.
So now you said, I think before, you've never been broken up with.
I have, but I've been the dumper
Right.
for the most part, and looking back on it, like I almost wish that I was the one dumped because
It's hard both ways, right?
It was so hard, and it was because like it wasn't working, and I had to be the one to call it, which was like not unfair.
Oh, so
but it
both
was,
people
like,
could have called it, but you had to take
yeah, I
on
had to
that
be the
role,
one
okay.
to call it, like in 2 or 3 different occasions, and then I was like, okay, am I just a jerk because I think I'm just the one that doesn't want to waste time.
And then when
So
you're
I'm
the
the one
one
that
that
calls
does it,
Yeah.
it almost makes you like second guess. Like once you start like missing the person a little bit, you're like, oh my god,
Did I do the right
did I do
thing?
the
You're like
right
so
thing?
responsible.
Yeah.
And because I've done it like a couple of times, I'm like, oh my god, am I a jerk? But it's like I had to learn and realize like, no, I was the ballsy one. I was the one that was like, no, we're wasting our time. This needs to stop. But it's hard on both ends.
Now, I've read a lot that, like, with women, they won't just dump you right away. Like, they go through this period of, like, just making 100% sure they're making the right... They'll, like, keep you around. It's like, you figured it out in your mind, but it's like, all right, let's just wait and wait and wait. And then when they break up with you, they're pretty much done with you.
Right.
And it's like, that's why it's so hard to get your ex-girlfriend back, because it's like, she waited until she's, like, disgusted by you. Like, she just doesn't even want to
I've
see your
done that.
face.